and welcome. I am going to draw these two gorgeous galahs. I took this photo the other day when we were away. These beautiful birds were sitting in a tree and my daughter sold me her beautiful camera so I could get some beautiful zoomed up photos of these guys. So I thought today we would have a go at drawing and painting them. So I'm going to start by getting my mouse down here. I need to make my doodah smaller. Oops. There's my, I don't know why, but my toolbox has decided not to work, which is my like a little mouse thing that does all the magic with the with the drawings. So I'm just going to have to go back to using my keypad. So that's fine. Oh, not that one. I want to go down here. This one. Then, oh no, it's working now. Okay, figured it out. Okay, so I'm going to start by drawing. I'll get this to size so it fits all in there in my screen thing. And I'm going to start by drawing. Actually, no, I know I need it bigger. I do need it bigger. Drop this down a fraction. Oh, no, not that one. Control V. I'm going to just drop this down a fraction. And I'm going to start by drawing this bird on the right. I'll start with the head and I can adjust things. These are just the cutest birds. I've got a few birds that I can do paintings of now because I've actually got a beautiful picture of a kookaburra that my daughter took. And it's obviously been a hand-reared one because it came right up and sat on the fence to where she could touch it. So it's an absolutely beautiful bird. So I've got some photos of that, but I thought I had a request last stream to draw parrots. So I thought, you know what? These guys are a parrot. I'll draw this. And they're absolutely gorgeous. They're the most amazing colours. His beak's below his eye. I'm looking for where things are the whole time so I can keep it in perspective. Then I'll measure his body against his head to get the dimensions of the rest of his body. But for now I'm just looking at the shapes. All right. So now his head is 1, 2, 3 times. So I'll mark it once, twice, 3 times the length of his head is his body. This is how I come up with the dimensions. Now he's got more of an angle there. He's quite a slim bird. Fit. He's got a fit bird physique. So we'll pop down here. I can adjust things as I need to. Now he's not too thick through the body, so his little butt comes down there, and then his tail and his wing. Make him a fraction longer maybe. The tail. Okay, that's the sort of basic shape. I'm going to make that a fraction smaller. Or, actually, yeah, I'll make it smaller like that so I can sort of see it a bit better. And then this other little guy is facing a little bit toward, like he's sort of looking at me taking the photo actually. So his head's about chest height, but he's facing me. And he's a bit fluffed up. And you can see they're sitting above their nest. Their nest is in that hole in the tree. And I got to watch these birds all day. It was lovely. So I'm just going to do the shape. Just looking at the shape. Like that. His tail comes out back there. See the underneath of it. And then that's in shadow there. Okay. Just having a quick look. Now his tummy comes out a bit more there. Like that. And then looking at his shape, I can draw in where his wing's going to be. Comes down just past that point on his tummy, like that. Then his wing actually goes out the back a bit more. So I'm constantly looking at the shapes and the directions of the shapes, like that. All right. Now he's got pink. It's over there. I might even attach the picture if I can. If I can get my picture. Oh, I won't worry about it. I'll mix the colour somehow. This pink is going to be very hard to try and mix. All right, so that's his claw comes up there like that. Then the other claw comes down and grips like that. Okay, that's all right. This one you can see he's got the top of his crest like that, and his beak is at the front but on a slight angle. Like that. Can't see the other eye, it's on the other side of his head, so that's fine. Or her head, as the case may be. I know you can tell the difference by the colours of their eyes, but from this distance I couldn't really see the colours of who's the female and who's the male. One's got tan eyes and one's got darker eyes. But I also like these because I've got a little bit of shadow and light play on these guys, which makes it really interesting. And the feathers are ruffled on this bottom one, which I really liked. You can see the definition of the feathers, which is super good. And then that tail feathers tuck around there. His feet sort of tucked into the side. His toes, I mean. And then he's sitting on the hole. So I'll draw just the rough shape, the end of that log. It's not all going to fit, but I can do a lot of it just to create the effect. The rough shape, not a smooth shape at all. Make it a bit bigger if I wanted to. And that branch comes down there. Sitting on a big gum tree, big old gum tree. Just looking at the shapes and not worrying about detail yet, just shapes. And that comes around there, and then the main part of the tree goes up behind, like that, and disappears off, like that. Right, that's pretty much the base drawing. I'm not real happy with this one up the top. I'm just having a look, seeing what I've done, what it is that I'm missing. I'm going to erase a little bit. I'm going to make the eraser a bit bigger so I can get rid of it a bit better, like that. Okay. I need to get his eye closer to his beak. That's one of the problems. So you start to look and you start to see the problems, the proportion. So his eye needed to be a bit closer to his beak. Like that. The beak can come up a fraction. Highlight there, which I'll worry about towards the end. Then these feathers, these guys have a crest like a cockatoo, similar to a cockatoo. They're all the same family. It's bucketing rain here, if you can hear that in the background, which is nice because we were just about out of water. All right, just having a quick look. All right. Whoops, today's way too big. Back down to about a 7. And then I'm going to bring that back out a fraction more. Tidy up these lines in a minute. There we go. These feathers on his wings are long, so they come right down there pretty much. All right, now I can tidy up a little bit more these feathers. Just going to erase, make my eraser a bit bigger, get rid of some of these scruffier lines that I don't need. They'll just confuse me. Get rid of that in there because I've made his back a little thicker, like that. All right. He's got beautiful shadows on him too, which is nice. Go back down to a 7. Oh, about a 7. Up to a 7. There we go, that'll do. Then his tail feathers actually come down below his wing. And they do overlap that branch a fraction. We'll make his iris a bit smaller. Made it a little bit big. Okay, so I'm going to start with the birds. Now I'm going to start with this pinky colour. See if I can find something even remotely close to it. I'm going to add a layer first. So I'm going to go layers. Where's my layers? I want to add a layer. Layer? Okay, add a layer. Press the button. Okay, so first layer is a drawing layer. So now I'm going to do this pink. Oops, days. Try and get that out of the way. I've got one of my thingies that's annoying me. Hang on. Doesn't matter. Okay, pink. Oops. Now it's that, but a little bit brighter maybe. About that. Sort of salmony. Sort of salmony. Back into the pinks. It's very hard to tell. Maybe that colour. Which you can't see. I'm going to move my reference picture so you can see it a little bit easier. How do I move it? I'll get my pen up there. There we go, hang on. I'm going to try and move my reference picture so you can see it a bit better. Like that. There we go. Okay, so then you can see me trying to mix the colours. So I'm reckoning it's about that sort of a colour, maybe a little bit pinker. Maybe a little bit pinker. Or that. That's very vibrant. Super vibrant, but how do I do that? Do I reckon it's about that? Maybe it is about that. Okay, so I'm going to go to my soft brush and we're just going to brush this in. I'll make it a bit bigger. Make my brush a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to block this in. Oops. Undo. Make it a little bit smaller maybe. I can go that. Oh, have I got opacities at 100? That's good. That's what I want. And I'm going the direction of the feathers. Just remembering to go the direction of the feathers. I can go over this and blend it a little bit as well as I need to. I need to be a little bit more orangey, I think. I'm just looking at that. A little bit more orangey. That's a bit better. They're the most amazing colour. I'm just going to block in first. I don't mind this brush because it's sort of a feathery shape anyway. And they've got a beautiful blue-grey on their wings. Continue down his little chest. Like that. Come down onto his tummy. And you can see all the beautiful different shadow tones on him, which is awesome. Down here. And this will save these colours up on the top right hand side for me. next to my colour wheel, which is handy. I will work on one bird at a time. Okay, now I'm going to go up here a little bit, drop the opacity a fraction here, because he's a little bit paler there. All right, and then I'm going to go into a very pale pink for his top of his, I'll bring the opacity back up. He's a very pale pink up the top. Like that, and a bit of white, which I will add towards the end. Right, oh, I've knocked my camera. Sorry, guys. There we go, that's a bit better. That way you're looking up my nose. Hang on, try and fix my camera. Gee willikers, I'm really shocking at technology. There we go. That's a bit better, maybe? I don't know. Hang on, whoops. This camera sort of balances on top of the thingy. And I knocked it before. Come down and around. Like that. I come down the back of his neck. It's got a little bit of pink around there. Whoop, none. All right, that's okay. I'll add some colour onto this bottom bird just to block him in, I think. Let's block him in a little. Like that. Then his back feathers are grey. I'm going to add a few of these lighter tones. I'll add this light around the edge of his eye. His beaks are grey. All right, come out this side of his little face a little bit thicker there, maybe. Okay, so I'm happy-ish with that. I'll do a little bit of this, more of this lighter colour around his eye. I'm going to do the pupil. I'm going to go back in with my dip pen, and I'm going to go to the black. I'm going to make my pen a little bit fraction bigger. I'm going to just mark in his iris. Like that. And then I can add the light. It's got a little reflection up the top there, like that. And I can make this a bit bigger now. I can make it a bit bigger so I can work on him a bit easier. Like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to this lighter pink. I've got the opacity at full. I might make it a fraction stronger, just so that you can see the shadowy areas. The darker bits. Still the same sort of base colour, sort of from that pink. I'm just adding the detail around the edges of the eye. So you've got lots of little feathery dots where there aren't feathers, but it's like the little dots where they could come out, like the paws of their feathers, the paws of their skin almost. I can go a sort of a darker salmony colour around here, like that, in the shadows. I might go stronger around the edge of his eye, or his iris. Okay, having a look. I've got to go a stronger shadow, like a deeper purpley, so I'll go to that colour, and I'll go back into the shadows to make a darker shadow pink, almost an Albany colour. Like that. You start to get a little bit of depth and perspective. Now his beak comes back towards his eye, like that. All right, I'm going to blend a little bit. Just get rid of some of these little gaps and brush marks. I'll get rid of the underdrawing in a little while. You can see that through the paint, through the colour. I'm going to smooth all this out a little bit. Like that. There we go. All right, now I'm going to add a darker tone. This darker tone might go a little bit pinkier. Drop the opacity, then grab my watercolour-y looking brush, come down here and just build up the shadowy area to get some of that value difference in the values, the colour values, down on the base of the beak and the base of the belly. Down and around here. Sort of goes up to his wing. I can make that a fraction smaller now. So, or actually, oh no, not that one. Pressed the wrong button, didn't I? Do that. And then I'll just bring him up there a bit. There we go. Take that down there, just fill that in. Right down to his belly, like that. And I can blend that. Oops. Just soften that all in. So it's not quite a hard line, like that. Down and around, like that. All right, it's starting to look right. I've got to add some of these shadows onto his feathers on his head. So I'm just going to go back in and get my dip pen again. Make that a bit smaller. I can see he's got all these colours. Actually, I might go to a soft watercolour-y brush. Drop that. Just draw some of the feathery textures. I can see a little bit. They don't need to be exact. They just need to suggest shapes. These feathers come down and around. And they're soft and rough, and there is crest. All right. And they come around the edge of his cresty bit there. All right. They open out, they fold out. So I'll draw the folds in sort of. There we go. Now I'm going to do his beak, and his beak is a grey. So I'll go back into the lighter colours, and I'll go back up into these greys, keeping a little bit of pink in it. So I'm working it back from the pinks, so it'll all blend really well together. I'm just going to colour that in ever so carefully. Now I've got to put his beak on more of a downward tilt. I haven't got it enough of an angle. So you see things as you start colouring, you see little bits that you've done wrong. I've got too much of a curve on the top of his beak. That's better. And I can lock that in and I'll blend it. Go to my little blender brush down there. Got a little list of, oh, I had the opacity down low. That's all right. Blend, make my blender a little bit bigger. Blend that in. And I might even go back now to that grey. And now I've lifted the opacity on it. Make it the brush a bit fraction bigger, the pen a back fraction bigger. And just come around the edges. Like that. You can see the top part of his beak to the bottom part is a stronger colour, just slightly. It's more of a taupey colour. I'm going to blend that down into the bottom part of his beak just to soften that line. Don't want hard lines. I've got to draw that little bottom part of his beak down here. Like that. Comes right up into there actually, like that. Another look. Now I'm going to go an even darker line. I'm going to go back to that colour, but I'm going to drop it down into the pinks, like that. And bring that shadow colour there. And then shadows coming around here, like that. And I'm going to use that shadow colour as well down around the bottom of his eye and onto the little dotty bits just here. He's got a shadow up here. I'm just looking at tiny little sections of the picture. I'm not looking at it overall, I'm looking at the little shapes within the picture. Now I've got to go back down into the skin tones almost for the tip of his beak. Get this little sort of taupish, pinky sort of, the lighter part of his beak is sort of like that. And I can actually put that on the bottom of that grey bit as well, because that looks like it's got, I can see that there. What I might do is actually get my picture up on my other page as well, and I can zoom right in like that. All right, and I'm going to go like a lighter colour even again, like that. Okay. I've got to go a little bit darker. I can go back to that darker colour, just around the edge of his eye. And just around the edge of his iris as well. I'll blend that a fraction, just so it's not quite so hard there. Okay, that's all right. Now I'm going to go to the grey. I'm going to blend that grey a bit better because I don't like how it's looking hard there. All right. Okay, that's a bit better. Now I can shrink him down a fraction. No, that's not the button. Is it? Why is it not? Oh, that one. There we go. I had pressed the wrong button, as you do. So now I'm going to go into the greys. I'm going to go back into the pinky greys. And I am going to start with my brush. Make my brush big. And I'm going to block in these feathers. And you can see how they blend into the trees. See, the flowers they eat seeds and bugs and all kinds of things. And the trees that they live in, the flowers are these colours. So they do camouflage extremely well. It's going to drop down a fraction, a little bit lighter for the bottom feathers coming down his back. There's like a tone and a half difference maybe. And I'm just going to block all that in, still being careful to go the direction of the feathers, not just brushing willy-nilly directions. I'll add detail over the top at the end. Once I've got them marked in, I will get rid of the underdrawing. All right. He's much darker underneath, but for now I'll go with this colour. His butt comes down there. Little butt feathers, like that. And I'm going to go even darker, coming down under his tail, like that. That's actually shadow. So I'm going to drop that size down there. Whoops, no, a bit bigger than that maybe. Come down here like that. The tips of his wing feathers are dark, but I'll do that in a second. Just got the basic sort of shapes in. Now I can actually get even darker and start to draw these feathery shapes on his back feathers. And I can pick up the shadows to cast underneath the feathers that are folded. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a soft sort of bristly brush, a dry brush, and I'm going to make it a fraction bigger. No, that's probably not really going to work, is it? Control Z. I need a bit more order than that. I need it to be a lot more like that maybe. A bit bigger. It's more of a bristle brush. Like that. I can brush in. It's not going to be exactly like the photograph at all, but I can pick out shapes that I like and roughly draw them in like that. Okay, and just continue on. That's very dark under there, but I'll fix that up after. See the feathers on the back are a bit more intense. Just marking in the outside shapes for the second. And then these ones down here are longer. There is flight feathers. Like that. Like that. Hello, Dor. How are you? Yep, these are galahs, mate. Gorgeous little Australian birds. I took this photo when we were out the weekend. I love these little guys. They're beautiful. And I was requested to draw some parrots and some Australian birds, so I went and got some photos. How's your day been? They come around the bottom at the back. Now these feathers sort of tuck up. They're the top of his wing feathers. Like that. And he's got longer ones that come down there. I'm just getting in some of these little feathery details. They sort of disappear off. I'll add a little bit more. I'm just marking them in for the second just to get the edges like that. Then he's got another row of flight feathers. Come down here. Again, I'm not counting them, not doing them exactly the same. Just getting them close so it looks fair enough, looks close enough. Close enough is good enough. And then these also come down in a longer U shape, like that. Okay, having a look. And then he's got his huge long feathers, these beautiful ones that get darker. Right at the bottom there, I'll darken those up now. I'll go into the darker browns. I grab my, go back to my watercolour-y looking brush. And I'm going to add some little detail. I can actually see pattern on these tail feathers. Yeah, these birds there were so many families of birds on the weekend. There were these guys, there was Kookaburra family. There were so many nests of birds right near where we were. It was heaven for photography. Luckily I bought all my cameras. I had my GoPro with me, so I filmed a couple as well. So I captured their movement and stuff, which is cool. It always helps with drawing to see how things move. All right, come down here. And I do like drawing from nature. It's probably one of my favourite things to do, is to sit and draw things around me. Okay, down here. Now he's got lots of shadow underneath. So I can actually use this same colour. Actually, I might even darken it up a fraction just to create the shadows around the bottom of his feathers. Why is it doing that? I'm going to go to a stronger pen. Stronger dark. I want a stronger dark. That's better because you can see that's actually quite a large, hard shadow line. Quite a hard shadow line. Just make that pen a fraction smaller. Again, I'm just looking at shapes. Looking at shapes. You can see that shadow comes right down there into a triangle shape. And you can see little butt fluff feathers. Like that. I can block that in. Like that. Okay, it's alright. So far so good. I'll make that pen a fraction smaller. And I'll do just his tail. You can see just his tail comes down here. Today's the very underneath of it is dark. And then he's got little, I can see the top of this tail feather is dark. And then it gets darker at the tip. Darker at the tip. I'm looking, the whole time I'm sort of looking for shapes and colour shapes. Now he does have pink on the top of his tail. So I'm going to go back up into my pinks. And I'm going to put the pink back on top here. like that. And then I'm going to go into the lighter pinky grey. Bring that up here like that. I've got to bring these pinky greys down here to the bottom of his wings. Like that. Having a look. All right. All right, that's all right. We're getting there. Now, his legs have got pink on them, but they're a browny pink. So I'm going to go back into that sort of colour and go back up into the browns. I'm going to draw his toe, coming back to his leg, get the shape in, like that. His leg disappears off under his feathers there. I can actually block, if I'm careful, I can do this paint bucket thing. Let's tap on that and that should fill it in for, of course, because I've got pen lines everywhere. Oh no, okay, don't want to do that. Yeah. Undo, undo, undo. Let's not do that. Let's just draw it in by hand, shall we? I'm really not good at technology, can you tell? Yeah, so I do everything very traditionally. My art technique, even though it's digital, I do it pretty much exactly as if I was doing it traditionally. So this is exactly the technique that I would use. At the end I would erase the lines, and at the end I will erase the lines. I always start with the background or the drawing, the base drawing. Then I add colour, and right at the very end I add detail. So I work exactly the same way. Nothing changes from digital to traditional, except I've got an undo button, which is always a nice thing. I do love my undo button. I'm just going to blend that back into that darker colour under there. Then blend that forward a bit into the light colour. Sort of mix it up a bit. Get rid of some of these little blibby blobs. Having a quick look. Now I can see there's a ton more. I'm going to blend this grey colour a little bit. Just a fraction. I don't want it to be quite so harsh. Like that. There we go. Because it is a shadow. It's just... Okay, there we go. That's a bit better. And then you can see he's got this dark shadow. So I'm just going to colour pick this shadow colour so I don't mess it up. And I'm going to take this shadow colour also. Whoops, what happened then? I'm using the wrong brush. Onto his tummy. Like that. Because you can see he's got that darker shadow. I'm just picking out the shadow areas. And his leg, his tummy comes down onto his leg like that. And then I'll blend that a fraction. Like that. And he's got much darker shadow up to his chest. So, I still got that shadow colour. I think I do. So I've got to bring that colour much darker there. Much darker down into here. That, just keep the texture of the feathers. I'm going to darken this bit up. I'm going to round that bit up a fraction. Like that. I can blend this in a minute. Now I'm going to blend it. Just soften it a fraction so you get rid of the brushy marks. Whoops. Got to turn that off somehow. Just disable my pen buttons completely. They're annoying. Okay. Now let's have a look. I'm going to darken up this shadow. Go back to my dip pen. Darken up there. That's a bit better. All right, having a look. Now I can go up here and start to look at. He's got some lighter greys in his back feathers as well. So I'm going to go into that. Oops, no, that's not it, that one. And then go back into the lighter greys. And I'm going to go back into my watercolour brush and I'm going to, it's not light enough, I need to go lighter. I need to lift the bottoms of these feathers a little bit because you can see the feathers on his back, some of them have a little bit of a highlight, like that. Can't really see that much on the drawing that I'm doing, but I could probably enlarge it for you. Hang on. Enlarge it. Oh, there we go. So I'm just doing the feathers on the top of his back a little bit. All right, and I'm going to blend it. Soften it. I'm also going to make this even lighter. Go back to that brush. As you can see, some of these feathers. I'm going to go to my dip pen. I'm going to get a harder line for harder, brighter. Just a couple of tones lighter, just to define some of these feathers. These ones do have a lighter tint to them, where the light's hitting them, I think. Just looking at colour shapes, and I can blend these to soften them. Like that. And coming right down. Actually lighten up that one pretty much all the way. Having a look, I'm going to go almost white. Almost, if I can get a white down here. It's a blue white, but having a look in the bottoms of these feathers. Bottoms of these feathers. Just picking my way through. Whole picture. Like that. Blend all of this now, just to blend those lights into those darks, to soften them. See, that just takes the edge off them. They don't look quite so jiggity. There we go. I do need stronger lines down on towards his wing feathers though. So I'm just going to mark this in. Again, trying to go the directions the feathers go, because the ends of them are lighter, like that. Okay, like that. Make it smaller a fraction, or move it up. I'll move it up. There we go. Actually, no, I will make it smaller, just a fraction. There we go. I want to be able to see the whole thing at once. Now I've got to go really light. Just down here. Nope, not happy with that. Go to my dip pen. Nope, I want a white. How do I go to, I'll go to here, and then I'll get a brighter white maybe. That's better. Because I want this feather down here. He doesn't have the shadow on that one, he's got light. And they sort of all, jaggedy line, excuse my jaggedy line, but anyway. They come down there, like that. And then you can just see them faintly going down lengths of the feathers. Oh, I don't like that. I don't know. We'll just keep going for a little bit. Okay, a little bit of light back into here. It's got white on the tips of his feathers up here. Alright, let's have a look. Alright, now I'm going to go onto his feet. I'm going to go back to his feet for a little bit. Make that a bit darker underneath. And draw in shadows on the bottoms of his toes. Like that. Alright. Come down around the outside. Like that. Okay. Now his toenails are very grey. So I'm just going to mark in his toenails, his claws, his talons. Like that. That one you can see a highlight on, but I'll pop that in at the end. Not so worried about that for now. Alright, having a quick look. I can go this dark, this super dark as well, down onto the bottoms. Refine these lines a little bit more on his butt. Little feathery bits. Having a quick look. All right, that's okay. I've got to get some brown. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with what I've done here. I've got to do a bit more definition on his tail feathers. I'll go some browns and I'll add the lights in. It does need to be a bit stronger, sort of down here. So I'm going to go back up into these browns, chocolatey browns. Just draw it line by line, like that. Okay. And I might even go a bit darker for the darker shadows under here. Bit of a darker shadow under here. It's super dark just here, but I'll go that colour. I'll go back to that and get super dark just down in here, where his leg rests against his body, kinda, like that. And then I've got to add a lighter pinky colour. Go back into the lighter colours. The texture on the top of his toes, where the light would be hitting, like that. Okay, that'll do for the second. For that bird. I'm going to do the background. I'm going to go in with I reckon, it's a pinky grey. The gum trees are pinky grey. And I'm just going to brush that on quickly with a bigger pen. Oh, no. Go away thing. Undo that because I know I've made a mess. Because that's how I roll. Make it a fraction smaller brush. There we go. That's a bit more controllable. And just block in this grey around the bird. Again, I haven't done a different layer. I'm just doing it as if I would do it traditionally. Keep it simple. Then I can't muck up because I always lose my layers and forget where they are and stuff. So let's not do that. I'm just going to draw it in just as if I was doing it traditionally. I'm going to take that all the way up here. There are much simpler ways of doing it, I know. There's ways of getting around it with digital, but I don't know. I still work very traditionally. Blend all that down. Whoops, doesn't matter that I've gone on top of the bird a little bit because I can erase that. Giggle, hello. Thank you for the raid. Shout out. Hang on, I've got to get me doodah up. How are you? How was your stream? Hang on, I've just got to find my other... Oh, hang on, where'd it go? Shrink that. Then go back to my Twitch and do a shout out to, I've just got to get to my thing. Rita Bandraid, thank you. Oh, hello, Roz. How are you, doll? How have you been? Create a dashboard. I've got to go to there and then I'm going to do a shout out because my thing, streamer manager, and then go shout out at Giggle Out Loud. Giggle. So how are you, mate? Giggle Out Loud. Websites, they edit the shit out of them and you don't get any natural lights and darks. So it's much easier to do your own if you can get a chance at any point. Actually, I'm going to colour pick it because it's easy to colour pick that one. And then I go back to this pen, my fountain pen, my dip pen. Whoops. Nope. Dip pen. And then I pick this colour. Hang on. Colour pick. That colour. Go on, pick it. There we go. And I'm going to start to draw in. Might need to make it a little bit darker maybe. A little bit darker. A couple of tones stronger. The feathers are quite ruffled up. Because it was a cold day, so they were ruffled up and trying to get warm. It was quite a cool day. Where I was. Going to rough in these other feathers. You can see all the feathers, it's just beautiful. All right. Come down and around. Like that. Oh, my chat's behind my reference photo. I'll have to move my reference photo again. There we go. Move my reference photo down there. And you can see chat a little bit anyway. And I'll make my chat box a bit smaller. Hang on, chat box. Make it smaller. Oh, that makes it too tiny, doesn't it? But anyway. You can still read it if you want to. Actually, maybe I'll put my chat box over here. There we go. And people can read the chat. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. That was a bit of a mess, wasn't it? I didn't even look up. Didn't even look up. All right, come down and around. Now, he's got his longer feathers. Come down here. Like that. Like that. Like that. And then around here. Okay. So he's quite sort of tousled up. Looking at the shapes, I might go to my softer brush actually for this bit. Whoops. A bit smaller. There we go. Soften up these feathers a little. It is bucketing rain here. Absolutely bucketing. Just sketching the shapes. Like that, having a quick look at the big screen. It's starting to come together. We're getting there. We're getting there, getting there, getting there. Slowly, surely. Slowly but surely. And I'm going to go even darker. Real dark. Under here. Looking at the shape, that tail feather comes up there. Then it's got the deep dark shadow. Blend all that in. Colour that in rather. I'll let my dog out in a second. He's having a sook. Having a sooky la la. Blend that in. Like that. So it's just picking out shapes. Come up and under his tail like that. You're back, Bebe. Bebe's my little dog. Hello, cowboy. How are you, doll? I was going to call you disappointed then. How you going, mate? How was your weekend? Okay, and then go to colour drop grey. And actually I need more of a skin tone, more of a pinky skin tone, that's the one, about that. It's a better colour, I think. Like that. All right, and then a light on top, lighter tone on top, like that. Slightly darker. Hello, Deep. You know how they say talk is cheap? Yeah, I can see a bird pun coming. I can definitely see a bird pun coming along. How have you been, mate? How was your weekend? Birdsong is cheap? Yes. How was your weekend, Dale? What'd you get up to? All right, so I'm going to go a stronger pink now. Go back to that one maybe. Dark, a bit stronger there. And go the paintbrush. Oops. Oh, and I finally caught one of oh, what's happened then? Why did that do that? Oh, there we go. I finally caught Will's stream. Finally. He was on yesterday and I got to watch for a little bit and hang out. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was the day before. but I hung out in the stream for a little bit, so that was awesome because I hadn't caught up with Will for ages. Cheap, very cheap. I'm excellent, mate. I am very good. Happiest when I'm painting. I am a very happy camper. Had a lovely weekend. And just got a beautiful rainy day. So I'm listening to the rain batter on the roof. We've got a tin roof. So the rain's barreling down and it's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Whatever made you think of the bird pun was coming? Because you're very predictable, Deep. And the second you said cheap, I'm like, my mind went straight to it. I'm catching on to you, buddy. I'm catching on to you. You went wrong that one, I know. Ooh. Okay, press that down a bit stronger, make that a bit darker. Coming down under here. They're starting to come together. We're getting there. Slowly, slowly. Slowly, slowly catching monkey. I can start to... I think I like this bottom bird better. These details coming out a bit nicer. Go do the dark under his little leggy bits there. And then around there. Okay, I've got to add the detail. I've got to do the branch. I've just roughed in the branches in the background for the second. So I've got to add those. I'm going to go a bit of a white onto his head. I'm going to go back to my dip pen because these feathers are actually quite vibrant on the top. What former social media site do birds miss the most? Oh, Twitter. Obviously. Otherwise known as X. You've taught me too well, mate. Got a little bit of light under the eye as well there. I had a bump then. I'm like, oh, who's here? No one's here. Very good. Sound like a car door. It's an obvious one? Yes, just a little. But that's okay. I'm not usually as quick as I'm having a quick day. Okay, now I'm going to go super... Oh, no, I'm not, actually. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? How do tech-savvy birds like to control their homes? How do tech-savvy birds like to control their homes? I've got no idea. You've got me there. No idea whatsoever. You will have to tell me. He's got lighter feathers down his back. Google Nest. Oh, of course. Feathers up here are different, slightly different. You lost me there because I don't have Google Nest. But there you go. I think you can get it in Australia. I'm not 100% sure. I think you can. There's some things we can't get that you guys can, that you guys can get that we can't. Right. I'm going to go even darker on this. I've got to draw these feathers now, give them a little bit of definition. Like that. There's 3 feathers there. How much wood would a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker does peck? No, how much wood would a woodpecker peck if a woodpecker could peck wood? And how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? good old fashioned, what are they called? Tongue twisters. Good old fashioned tongue twister. Gotta love them. But a woodpecker does peck wood. A woodpecker does peck wood, and a woodchuck chucks wood. How much wood would a woodpecker peck if a woodpecker could peck wood? Would woodpecker would peck a lot of pecks of wood. It's like Peter Piper picked a peck of wood, pickled pepper. Oh my God. You know where I'm going. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? So as much as a woodpecker peck, if a woodpecker could peck wood, yes. As much as it needs. I would say a peck of wood. All right, we're starting to build up the darker shadows now. The fun bit. Shadows that help define everything. And then I'll add the detail at the end. I'm going to try and do this one in one sitting. The other one I did over 2 videos. I'm going to try and do this one in one. We'll see how the mop flops. Not so sure. We'll get it all done, but we'll try. We'll give it a red hot go. If the family comes home, I'll stop. But otherwise, I'll keep on keeping on. Now I've got to go super dark into the wood here. Because it's a very... What? Oh. No, that's not right. I'm going to go back. I like this colour better. Go this, but then take it up to the darker. So it's still the same, but a couple of tones. No, I'm gonna pick that one, and then go back to that. There we go. Then I can add that in. There we go. And I'm going to make it just a fraction darker, like that. There we go. That's better. And darken up. Do a few layers in here. Then I'll do the wood detail. Oh, see, I've already varied it from the reference, but it doesn't matter. I've already foot in the wrong spot, but that's okay. You know what? Because it doesn't have to be the same as the photo. It can be close. Close enough sometimes is good enough. Not a photograph, it's an artwork off a photograph. All right. Oops. Blend that down. All right. When I'm in the early stages of thinking about a piece, sometimes I look at a few AI generators just to see what they come up with that might want use, clothing poses, etc. Yeah, you know what? It's got a place. It definitely, in my eyes, AI has a place. It's going to affect a lot of people in not a good way, but there is a place for it. Used properly and carefully, with respect to artists, it is a handy tool. I think it could be a handy tool, as long as it's used wisely and fairly. But how do you know? Like, some of the AI art is so realistic. So today my son and I were talking about how AI was getting worse because it scrapes content off the internet, and how now AI art is getting so widespread that it's scraping itself. Oh, wow, okay, that's interesting. Well, I suppose it would. It would run out of content. And people are figuring out how to protect their art from AI. But I mean, I've seen, like, even on some of the reference sites that I use for wildlife art, and the colours don't look real. I'm like, hang on a minute, that's just a it's AI. It's an AI photograph. It's not a real animal. And I'm like, wow. And it took me a little while to pick it. I'm like, I know that's not right, because that colour is not natural colour for that animal. You know, but people, it's very interesting, but they can get so close. Imagine 10 years from now. Like, now it's in the beginning stages. Results were interesting. So I asked the AI generator to imitate an AI generated image of a mushroom person. Oh my God. Yeah, it's amazing. You can make music with it and everything. Like, that's going to be the interesting thing. Like, for movies, for music, You know, it can, and it comes up with some reasonable music. Like if you're going for a jingle for your channel or something like that, it's amazing. You can get quite good quality music than you wouldn't pick. Like, it writes for you. Yeah, it's hard not to find at least some AI things when trying to find references. Yeah, most of it is. It's just the way of the future. But there's no, there's no real... People still want traditional, or even digital traditional, like digital style traditional. People want something that comes from a person. So it's interesting times ahead. It'll be very interesting to see what happens, how it evolves from this point. It's going to be very interesting indeed. Indeed. I mean, I'm not against it altogether. And I know some famous artists who use AI to help them. I've seen there's been a big stink over it because artists got their noses out of joint because they used AI. But it's like, you know what? If it helps them, they're not 100% dependent on it. It just gives them ideas. Why not? It helps their imagination. As long as you're not dependent on it, I see no reason why not. Glad there's a few places that are not accepting AI references and some do allow. AI are now giving an option to filter AI. Wow, I didn't know that. Not perfect, but definitely better than a bit ago. Yeah, it went mad for a little while. It did go mad for a little while. So it's starting to find its new balance. But people were like that with auto billing and, stuff over the internet. It's like, you'd never trust your online banking. You'd never do this. You'd never do that. And look, it's normal now. It becomes normal. Inevitably, it becomes normal. I'm going to go to more to a reddy brown. And then it'll be the next thing, and then it'll be the next thing. Technology has always terrified people. We keep on making more. Not perfect. Oh, I've read that before. Now, trees are an illusion. It's all shapes. It's just shapes and shadows. I'm going to get rid of the underdrawing now. I'm going to get rid of my underdrawing. So that's paint layer 1, isn't it? That one. Yep, there we go. So the drawing's gone. And I'll just continue on with my wood. I've got to find a wooden colour. More of a brown. There we go. And Australian browns are grey brown. So maybe a bit more down here. It's got a bit, it does have a bit of reddy, a bit more red in it. Let's go up here, maybe. That way. There we go. Some sites like QBrush aren't accepting AI-generated images for reference packs. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Good to know. Just going to draw. There's so many shapes in wood. I'm going to make that lighter, make that less opaque, drop the opacity. There we go. Continue around, just keep the circles rough, the shape around here rough. Just keeping it similar, not the same. You know what I could do? Oh no, I don't need to draw outlines. I can actually use a rough brush. I can just go to this like rough brush and do this sort of shape. Do that. Don't know. Did you see the message above? Oh, hang on. Some still gets through, but not as much. Pixabay gives you a way to filter out. Oh, Pixabay does. Yeah, I use Pixabay and I also use Unsplash, but I haven't checked because Pixabay has a ton of artificial stuff. I have noticed that, but I didn't know you could get rid of it. So there you go. You've taught me something new. You're a font of knowledge. A font. I'm going to follow the direction of the wood. See, in watercolour this is easier because you just drop the water in and let it flow and it does its own thing. I don't know that I can't do that with this app yet, or not that I've figured out that I can do. Be nice if I could make it run like watercolour. Got to treat it more like acrylic. Now that bark underneath actually comes up on a itchy eyeball again. My eye is so itchy. The content type has an option that filters out most AI. Well, there you go. I'll have to have a Google on Unsplash and see. I shall. Whoops. Come up underneath there. Again, it's hard because wood goes in all different directions. So I'm going to blend this. I'm just going to blend this out. My big blender. Just to soften all of that. I'll add some wood texture over, some more detail over it in a little bit. Make it bigger. Like that. Just to blend all those mottled colours together. Like that. All right. Okay. And I've got to go a grey, more of a grey. Go into a grey there. Yep. Oh, whoop. It's more of a grey. And then having a look. Go to this brush, make it bigger. Blocking in shapes, colour shapes. Better if I look at the reference. It's up on the smaller reference. I can see the shapes better. There's one that I've got up on my other screen. I put the image I got from my prompt in Discord and it's hilariously bad. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to go and have a look. Some are so bad they're good. Like they've got fingers missing and all kinds of fun things. Extra legs. And the animals can look very wrong. I've seen, you know the funny ones though, where they do the AI, you know how the kids' drawings of an animal and then they make it come to life with AI? But it's like the really badly drawn pictures, but they've made them come to life. They're so cute. Oh, they make me laugh. Okay. Now that grey, looking at the shapes, I can grey off this as actually, I can grey that off a bit more. And blend it out. Having a look. Soften that a bit more. I really am not good at trees, but it's okay. I've got to get better, don't I? The only way to get better is by doing. Tis a tis. I shall keep telling myself this. I shall keep telling myself this. It's just practice. Don't be scared of it, peace. Just do it. Do it. Let's come up here. Blend that a bit more. See, the shape's easier when it's smaller. Blend that. Now I can make it bigger. Hang on. Bring it down there a bit. There we go. Blend that out. Soften that. Like that. Take it up there. All right. Starting to get there. Starting to look better. Now, you can see there's a tree in the background up here, so I'm going to go in with the sky colour. I can find a sky colour. Go into a sky colour. That's sort of a bit more light blue there. I'll go with that because there's a sky over here. And there's a tree. Cuts around there. That. I use bokeh or bokeh to create the leaves. I have a bokeh effect on my iPad, but I don't have it on this, so I'm going to have to figure out how to do the green. It's just circles. It's really just circles, so I'm going to go green. Go to a green. Go to an Australian green, which is like a deep dark green. Get there. It's stronger green than that. I'll blend that just into the background to create like leafies. See, there's leaves all down here. It's shapes. Don't worry about it. It's shapes. Just do the shapes. I think AI is great for ideation and editing, but I would never use AI results as a final piece. No, or even to copy. No, because you get it so wrong. Like it can get it so wrong. I know there's been a bit of a stink in the portrait world, people using references for painting portraits, but they're using AI, and of course it's doing things wrong, and then they're mirroring the wrong things, and yeah, it's created a bit of a stink, actually, a bit of a stink in the art world. There was a big, not a war, but a big argument going on between a couple of quite large artists. And they lost quite a lot of fan base when the fan base found out they were using AI as references, and they were using it in their artwork. They were using AI to help them generate pictures. And it's like, ooh, stinky. Yeah, their fan bases were affected. They're like, no, well, it's not art then. All right. But as a way to generate, let's quickly see a combination that I want to create. Yeah, exactly. It's great to just see a rough on paper. You mean Ross Draws? I do. I did see there was quite a stink about that. I think it's all settled down now, but there was a big stink for quite a while. I followed it on a few of the different channels because I was fascinated by it because, I don't understand it particularly, or didn't understand it at the time. Add a bit of oranges in because you see there's oranges, there's all colours. All colours. And I'll blend it. I think it's all settled down now because now it's become normal. I think it was mainly a problem when it wasn't so common. Now I'm going to go. I'm going to stick my reference pick if I can. How do I go here? Go settings, go Dockers. Oh no, I don't. Hang on. How do I do it? I go here, tool options. No, go there. How do I, there's a way of doing references, settings. Maybe it is Dockers. Reference, element OP, reference. No, it's not there. Where is it? Tools? Nope. Select. Whoop. I know I saw it here somewhere. Brandon Sanderson had probably the best description. Oh, okay. I'll have to file. Nope. I can't remember where to find references. How to put a reference in. I can't remember. Writing a prompt doesn't make you a creator? No. Certainly does not. Certainly does not. How? I can't remember how to do it. There, I know there's one of these that's got a prompt. Oh, here we go. Nope. You were going to commission someone to make something. Exactly. View. Image. Nope. Layer. Select. I want a reference. You provide guidance and feedback, but the artist is the one who actually made the piece. Oh, okay. Apply filter. Oh, no, hang on. Tools. It has to be in. I know, I did it. I did it the other day. Do you think I can do it again? No, of course not. Advanced colors, animations, arrange, channels, comic, grids, skin patterns, record a small. And if you're using AI, you're essentially using AI as the one you're commissioning to do the piece. Ah, yeah, I suppose that's fair. That makes sense. Do you use Krita? Do you know how to stick your reference in the corner? I did it the other day and I can't remember how to do it now. Edit. Copy layer, nope. Oh, nope. Yeah. Oh, no, don't press that. Oh, I pressed a thing. Hang on. Oh, I found a thing that I didn't know I had. There you go. It has to be in Dockers. Dockers? Tool options? Nope. Settings? Dockers? Dockers? I don't know. I guess I won't be doing that. I guess I won't. I have multiple monitors, so I usually put... Yeah, I've got my reference up on another screen, but I want to colour... What do you call it? Colour drop. I can't. It doesn't matter. I won't. I'll just do it traditionally. That's fine. I'll just stick with me normal bits. Stick with me normal way of doing stuffs. I'll just draw it by hand. Go back to my colour settings, because what did I want to do? I wanted to go an orangey colour, an orangey brown now. An orangey brown up here into here. Like a greeny orangey brown. I'll blend that in. Just looking for the shapes. There's going to be a whole lot more work in the branches, but I don't want them to be the whole focus, but they've got to look right, which is the trap. I'm going to go a light brown now, light browny grey. Where's that brown? That brown's there. And I'll go to like a browny grey, a light grey. There we go. And come along the edge of... Nope, that's not light enough. There. Come along the edge of the tree, because the edge of the tree has got... I'm going to make that do my dip pen. Bring my opacity up. Come along the edge of this tree. Like that. Not a solid line. You know what I need? I need a texture brush. I need a texture brush, like a rough old... I'm going to go into my brushes and see if I've got textures. I do have textures. Let's have a look and see if I can find a woody texture. Apparently not. Plants and stones. Textures. Oh, here we go. These are just standard old textures. Maybe I need a vertical sort of a clouds and water detail. What do we got here? Oops, took a while for them to load. There's all fancy dancy stuff that's completely useless for anything that I want. Plants and stones, that's all just, it's not really... I need a wood grain, like a rough brush. Bark, like a bark brush. Or maybe... no, they're sideways. They're the wrong... Let's have a look. No, that's... Oh, no. That's definitely not right. Skins. Ooh, maybe. Nope. Textures. I want a bark. A bark. Favourites. No, we won't be in favourites because FX. Ew. It's very ordinary. FX. Ink. Noctualis. Paint. RGBA. I don't even know what RGBA is. Oh, there you go. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, look at that. Actually, let's have a look. What's that? Oh, I don't mind that, actually. I don't mind that at all. Gives me a bit of a rough texture because I don't want straight lines. That'll do. I don't want a hard line. I want the soft line to disappear into the background. It gives me the texture that I'm after. Just follow the direction of the tree. I don't like how do I save that? How do I save a brush? Plus it? Can I plus it? How do I plus it? How do I save it? How do I save it? How do I save the brush? I want to save it. How do I save it? I don't know how to save it. I've forgotten how to save it to favourites. No! Tag. No. New tag. No. Tag. No. I don't know. How do I do it? Oh, here we go. Can I add it to favourites? Keep hearing door slam. Add to favourites. I've got an ad. Add. No. Oh. Screw it. Screw it. Oops. Undo. Pop. No. Alright, it's fine. What have I got now? What brush have I got now? I went to that one. Oh. Look. I'm accidentally finding the different brushes. I actually quite like that one. I quite like that one. Did you figure out what you were doing? No, I give up. I didn't. I'm just, I found another brush that sort of works, so I'll just do that. I like it. It's got a model-y soft effect. So I thought, you know what? That'll do the job. That'll do the job. We'll just do that one. I can follow it along in different textures, different directions. Like that. Go a bit darker there. Actually, I'm going to go back to a rough brush, just a rough. Go to favourites. Look at that. Oh, I might have found what I'm after. Bristles. That's better. That's good. It gives me that bark sort of texture. It does. It does. Gives me that nice barky sort of texture. Like a rough old brush. And I'm going to go a bit darker. Darker again. Do like a khaki-ish. Right. Go around all the directions. Around here. Come right up to the bird. And then you said that, and it's got, now I've got that song. Find what you, what did you find? What is it? The U2 song. U2 song. Did you find what you're looking for? That song. Hello, Joyce. How are you? This is lovely. Your birds are legendary. I wish I could find your book. Oh, I really want to see that, and I'm excited. Well, I haven't done a bird book, but I illustrated a kid's drawing book. Okay, not kid's story, it's the kid's storybook. I have to get a copy off the author, because the copies I had I gave away. So how have you been, Joyce? How are you, doll? So we're going to go really small and draw this darker bark in. Like that. Because I like these softer lines. I don't want harsh, hard lines, I've decided. I can use these. I'm here, I love drawing, but I work with Paint 3D. Yeah. Everyone's got their own technique and their own favourite thing to do. That's why art is so awesome, because it's such a varied community and everyone does something a little bit different. No two people do the same, which is what I really love, because everyone can learn from someone else. And your stuff is like mesmerising. It cycles through the shapes and the patterns, and it's very relaxing to watch. These are so pretty. Thank you. They're galahs. They're a pair of galahs. And I took this photo last weekend. And there was all families of galahs and cockatoos, and it is very relaxing to watch your art, is for sure. But yeah, these guys, there was nests of them. There was a family of kookaburras, a family of galahs. There was tons of rosellas. Whoops. So I was very blessed to have a ton of birds around. There was even a family of ducks and their ducklings. Like there was every kind of bird you can imagine. So I've got a ton of photos for references. You guys and Oz have great animals. We are very lucky. I do have to say we are very lucky here. We do have a wonderful variety. Our bird life especially is stunning. Like I've got a beautiful photo of a kookaburra my daughter took yesterday because he was sitting on our back fence. And he must have been reared by a human because he's very tame. But you can get right up close to him. So he has to be a hand-reared one, and he's been re-released to the wild. He's just way too tame to not be. Like my daughter could touch him. So I've got lots of close-up photos of this kookaburra. So he'll be next, I reckon. Kookaburra will be next on the painting to-do list because she's got some real zoomed-in close-up ones of his face and his feathers and everything else. We have 7 different species of ducks in Reed Park Pond where we are to feed them corn and green beans, no bread. Yes, bread's very toxic to birds. You give them what they would eat in the wild. If you're going to give them anything, you give them what they would catch naturally. Like we were camping and there was, what do you call it? Magpies. And they'll eat worms. And because I'd been fishing, I had a ton of leftover worms because, of course, I didn't catch any fish. So I gave the magpies my worms that I had. So, but as long as you give them what they'd have in nature, but don't give them, people who give them stuff that they're not going to hunt. If they don't hunt it, don't give it. That's what I've always believed. Protect them that way a little bit. Now I've got to add some warm bits in here. I have to go. Seems there's someone at the door. Okie doke, it's your granddaughter. Woohoo! Give her a big cuddle. Enjoy. Have a lovely evening with your grandbaby. Awesome. I love being a nan. Nothing more beautiful than a grandbaby, except a baby, your own baby. But it makes it just even more special. So I'm just adding some of these reds and oranges in, just in the direction. And I've got to go some reddy browns. Add a bit of warmth like that. See, that starts to lift it a bit then. Starts to lift it. Like that. Model that all up there. Come down here a little bit. All right, I'm quite happy with that, I think. Now, to move on to this bottom branch, and I can actually take some of this, I'm going to take some of this red. Come down onto this branch here. Follow the shapes, the colour shapes. Blend that, make that brush a bit bigger. Blend that down into there. Come down the bark onto there. I'll darken that up again in a minute. Just got to get all these colours on. Big shadows there I've got to get, which I will. And remembering to follow the shape of the branch. Go into the greys. Make that smaller. Make it almost like a pin, a narrow end. That. You can see all those different grains in this bark are very dark down here. I'm just looking at the shapes. I'm not looking at anything else. I'm just going to make that one up there smaller. to do that. Can I make it smaller? Won't make it smaller. Maybe if I can do that. Here we go. Just had to make it small so I could see it a bit better. So it's super dark under here. That way. Didn't mean to do that, but anyway. I want to pick that up, move it. There we go. I want the whole canvas on the paper. Super dark under here. Make it bigger. Like that. It does go sideways a little bit under here. Wood goes in different directions. Around the edge here it's dark. Like that. Around here it's very dark. Like that. And whoops. And around here. Right, I'm quite happy with that. See, it's starting to finally come together. It takes a while, but it does come together if you're patient. You just got to be patient and know you'll get through the ugly phase. Every painting has an ugly phase. And this has definitely hit it. We're starting to get there. Hello, Jeremy. How are you, doll? I'm good. I am very good. I am cruising along just nicely. Working on my galah painting. I've got to go back to that one. Now, which one was it? It was... Oh, which brushes was it? I can't remember what it was called now. Shivers. Was it Noctualis? Yes. It was a rake. I'm sure. It'll come to me. I'll find it. Oh, there it is. That one maybe. Oh, that's nice. I like that brush. Okay. That's a good barky brush. It's just a rake. Just working on Undertale Alternate Universe comic thing. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. How's it coming along? There's a shadow under there, but I'll blend that out. I'll do that in a minute. Like that. See that grey sort of comes right down to here. I'll blend that. Oh, I don't want to blend that yet. I'll blend it at the end. Having another quick look. I've got to get some of this ready brown. Ready brown. Down here. I can mix it up a little bit because wood is not symmetric and smooth. Mix it up a little bit. It's all an illusion. I'm going to blend that sideways a fraction like that. Come down here. Down and around here. Got to add some light in. Got to get some light. So I come down to this lighter sort of a grey. I'm on to chapter 2, page 14. Awesome. Great work. Down and around. Keep hearing thumps and bumps. Thought my hubby was home, but it's not. He's not, he's not, he's not. All right, keep coming around. Having a look. Okay, add. Got to add some more grey texture into here. So back into my greys. Over here. I'm just using a rake brush. Here. Go into the darks. These darks are darker than the background. I've got to get more contrast around his head, this one, because he's got quite dark, as you can see, the shadow around his face, which gives him nice contrast. Like that. That'll make him pop out a little bit more too. Just remember to go the direction of the feathers, or the feathers of the bark. Keep it the directions of the bark. And he's got very dark shadow here now, so I can mark that in with the bark colour, bark pattern. Keep that super dark, the direction of the bark. Like that. A bit of texture into those darks. Oh, I like that. That's working well. All right. Looking at the shapes, there's a shape there of a barky bit. All right, having a look. Now I've got to get some more reddy browns along here, closer to his back. Like that. Come down here. I want the contrast around his feathers. All right. Sit back and have a look. It's getting there. We're getting there. I might add some more of this green, even though it's just a dark grey under there. It is just dark grey. So I'm going to make that bigger. And just block that in with the bark pattern. Like that. I can blend it a little bit at the end. For now, I'm actually not going to make it bigger. Make it even bigger. Block that in. Go, there's a bit of a pinky grey. I'll go back down to here. Like that. I'll go a little bit of chocolate colour. Mix it up a bit. And I'm going to go really deep dark. Into the depths. The depths. Like that. Come right along that edge for contrast. You can see that's super dark down there. I'm just looking for shapes now, and dark. I can even go dark there, because dark shadows are not a solid dark. There's all different colours in amongst it. It's not just, shadows are not one flat colour. If you look at a shadow, it's a reflection of all the colours around it. So I'm not making this just one flat dark colour. I'm mixing it up with browns and greys and all kinds of stuff. Just heard a woodpecker call me paranoid in Morse code. You're funny. You're funny. Love your work, Deep. Love your work. The definition of paranoid. Just saying. You're a funny man. All right. Come down and around these edges. And I've got to define the edges of this tree now. And the edges around behind the bird. So I'm going to go to a brown, more of a brown. A stronger brown to contrast. Looking at the reference a little bit. You see, he is lighter around his back, but I need the contrast against his feathers. So I'm just going to draw in some wood detail. Keep it coming up like that. There's a lot going on. There is an awful lot going on. I've just got to try and simplify it. I'll blend it a little bit. But I don't know that I need to, because it's actually looking pretty good. Like, it's not looking terrible yet. I haven't ruined it completely yet. Give me time, peeps. Give me time. I'm going to make that brush a bit bigger. A lot bigger. I'm going to mix up some of this darker grey. These darker, this branch is darker sort of over here. like that. We're getting our contrast. We are getting our contrast. Slowly, slowly. Make that brush super big. Whoa, not that big. Ooh, that's ugly. Drop the opacity. Then do it. Like that. Oh, I've got the opacity at 0. That doesn't help. There we go. All right. I can add, make that smaller. Come down behind this bird. Okay. I reckon. Whoops. Got to take that bark pattern up there a little bit. Having a look. Having a look. I've got to go darker here. I'll have to tidy the beak up in a minute. Again, following the direction of the bark. I can tidy the feathers up in a minute. All right. Not happy about this bit here. Got to come down there and darken that up. Like that. Pull that bit in. That's looking better. Super dark, just right in close there. Super dark, right in under his butt. That's super intensely dark. Just there. I can draw the grainy bits around the edge of the wood. Because there's some very dark shadows around the edge of that. Where the wood sort of, edges of it meet, break off, do all kinds of fun things. Wood does, it splits, it's got little eyes and patterns and different little direction-y bits. Okay, having a look, it's looking all right. Just going to come around this edge a bit more with this dark. I'll blend that a fraction in a minute. Having a look. I've got to come down here with some of this dark. Blend all that. Or thicken, fill it in. I may not blend it, fill it in like that. Just go over it with the wood grain. Go to a lighter grey. Not that light. Maybe a middle grey like that. Right under his feathers here. Along his bottom of his wing. Big white patch here, big light patch here that shouldn't be here. So I'll fill that in. Like that. All right, we're getting there. I'm going to go back to my normal pens now, go back to my favourites, go back to my dip pen, and I'm going to add some definite lines now. Real distinct. The wind's just picked up out here. Got quite strong and nasty now. Some rough edges. I want to go almost black. There we go. Like that. Don't want, it's not smooth. So around this edge. All right, having a look. I've got to do something. He's got shadow. I'm going to go back up here to that brush. He's got his tail shadow comes down here. Like that. I'm just going to make that a bit more solid, like that. All right. I'm just picking out darker bits now. He's got a very dark shadow under his tail. Comes up to here. Comes about like that, like that. Then I'll blend that bit out. Soften that shadow there. It's looking a bit better. I've got to go dark into that. Go a dark grey. Here. Feathers. And then he's got grey feathers, his lighter grey feathers under here. I'll blend those a little bit. Whoops, maybe not that much, undo. Maybe not quite that much, blend them a little bit less than that. Just soften them. I don't want those marks to disappear. Having a look, okay. Got to go into the pinks on his head. So I'm going to go back into this colour. Then that one, and then grab my dip pen, darken it up a bit. That. I'm gonna just add a few little defining. Ooh, that's a weird not mid line I did. Let's not do that line. Okay. Foof off his feathers. He needs a bit of foofing. Got to have a bit of feather foofage. Just a little bit of feather foofage. Come up around his beak. Might even get that stronger colour. Now if I colour drop that, pick it up carefully. That one, yep. Then I can bring that up. That's the colour of the dots around his eyes as well. Or her eyes, as the case may be. Around the bottom of his head there. Start to strengthen things up a little. I'm going to go into this sort of skin tone. Oh, needed a bit more pale than that. There we go, like that. Oops. That's a bit better. I can also take that up around his eye a little bit. Right, I'm going to go a bright white just on the highlights around the top of his cresty bits, just to give his feathers a bit more of his crest, a bit more of a definition against the bark of the tree. Just a little bit more. Same on this guy up here. A little bit more definition against the bark. Like that. Let's go tidy up a few bits. I'll go back into the pinks. Like that. Pick a few of those back up again. There's so many sort of pinks. And then I'll go a lighter pink. Almost a light grey. No, we want to go back into the pinks. Nope. That one. There we go. Then pink that up a bit. I can draw a few more details, feathers around. And draw his little feathers. Give him a little bit more depth, and I've got to do that to this bottom one as well. Otherwise he looks a bit flat. Hang on, I'm going to go back to this colour. That colour. Then I'll lighten it. There we go, to give him a bit more definition around his feathers around here. Just squiggling a little bit, just to give him some texture. He just needs a bit of texture. You can see he's got lots of texture. Ruffle up his feathers around the edges of his body there. Around his legs, the shape of his legs. Can go a bit stronger, a bit darker there. Having a quick look. Under his wing there is dark. I've got to go dark, dark. Do his feathers down here. Like that. And I've got to draw his feet. Now he's got a big shadow patch under here. So I'll go into this, drop the opacity down. Shadow up under here. Just got to strengthen that shadow. Under there, like that. Bring this shadow down and around here. I can also use this, I'm going to blend out a fraction. There we go, just so it's not so liney, like that. I can use this shadow colour on this bird above here too. Like that. It's a darker grey down here, but I'm going to go over it with this colour because I can. I'm also going to use this grey in this bird's feathers. It's a browny grey. You can see that on his feathers. Again, just remembering to go the direction of the feathers. I mean, it's quite impressionistic. It's not realistic. It is quite impressionistic, which is fine. Each to their own, I reckon. He's got quite dark. I'm going to lift the opacity, drop the size, and come down under. Go to my dip pen. Go to a dark. I've got to come under all these feathers here. And shadow up. Shadow up we do. Like that. Help give a bit of contrast. Like that. And then shadow up a few of these ones. Not all of them, just a few. It's got a very dark shadowy feather up here. Like that. Like that. Right down onto the bottom of his beak, like that. Having a look. Sitting back and having a look. He's starting to look better. Starting to look better now. I'm going to get the leg colour off this other bird. I've got to draw the legs on this guy. I haven't done them yet. The foots. His feet. I'll draw his little feet on. Make that brush bigger. Fraction. Then go my dip pen, go a stronger colour in that same thingy, like that. On his toes together, sort of. Doesn't matter. Just going to tidy up a few bits. I can come down here. We see his claws at all? We can see the reflection on his claws a little bit, but I'll just draw a little white. Like that. Keep checking out the window. I keep hearing car doors. Okay, I've got to let my dog out. Just bear with me a second. Come on, Bambi. I'll let you out. Come on. You want to go out? Come on there. He's gone out. Alrighty. So, now I'm going to blend his little beak a little bit. Now we're getting into the final touches. I should do another toe over there actually. I'm going to go back to this little dropper. Go back to my brush and draw another toe over here. Because he would have more than one. Go back to my dropper, pick up that darker colour. Get my brush. Like that. Go into the black, almost black. Okay. Go into the deep dark burgundy, or go into this colour, colour drop, pick that one up, then make it darker. And draw the feathery bits in down here. Like that. I could start to get a little bit more contrast. A little bit more contrast. Rough up his feathers down there, make it a bit darker again. That. Around the inside of his eye like that. I'm not 100% happy yet. What have I got to do now? Come around the back of his feathers, his back feathers here. Now I've got to go let my dog back in. He's been out and done what he had to do. Come on, Bear. Come on, Bear. Here you come. Come, Bear, quick. Sorry, just stay there. All right. Rightio. Oh, back again. All right, my little bossy dog. Yes, Bear. You want to come up and say hello to everyone? Okay, fine. Okay, everyone, this is Bear. Oh. He's got to come and say hello. Come and say hello. Say hello to everyone. Yes, hello. Oh, he's got to be with me while I do my art. I've got to go this pink. I've got to go more of a pink on his head. There. I've got to mix up the pinks and the whites. I go back into the stronger pinks too. He does have like quite a mixture of pinks. Hell, yeah. Bear is a little hyperactive little dude. He is a hyper dude. He's a very funny little dude. And he's got to be with me. He has separation anxiety. He cannot be away from me. He's such a needy little dude. Smaller bear than the one you were doing yesterday. Yes, just a little. And the ones yesterday weren't quite as cuddly. Not quite. I've got to get some more depth going through this area somehow. So I'm going to go back to there. Maybe go back into. It's got to get slightly stronger colour. Make his feathers a bit more interesting through here so he doesn't look so flat. He's darker through here. He's darker through here. I might make that brush bigger. Go with the watercolour-y looking one. Watercolour one. There we go. Just to strengthen up this bit. It needs a little bit more definition. on his feathers and stuff. Need to darken up there too. Go darker. Just here. It's looking a bit, not happy with his beak, actually. I'm going to blend his beak out a little bit because I think I've made his beak a bit too large. Got to take that back, knock it back a fraction, and then go a darker grey. Go back to the greys, colour dip, colour pick, that one. Then go back there, then go there. Make my brush smaller. His beak's looking a bit weird. What have I done? What have I done? Hang on, let me go here. I'll fix it. Yeah, this is where you start to fuddle and fuss. And you can wreck shit real quick. Let me go up here. This barky texture. Just draw it in by hand. I don't want to grab the rake brush again. Go super dark. There. Like that. That's a bit better. And then down here. There we go. I just lost his beak a bit when I did the bark, I think. That's all I've done. I've got to round off this pink area here. It's a bit too flat looking. I've got to round that off. That's better. That. That's a bit better. I am going to get some more of that darker pink. Yes, that one. Strengthen up this line down here. He's got a bit fuzzy wuzzy looking. I need the contrast. So I'm going to go an even darker red. Down there, like that. It's got to really define him against the wood. Now, I start to pick out his textures. Not solid lines. I just want a shadow, darker shadows in some areas than others. All right. Sort of like I did it on the other bird as well. Might go into the, let's have a look. He's also got a bit of dark up here. That. Right, I've got to do some more work on the beak over here. So I'm going to go to this grey. I'm going to go back into the pinks though. Get a bit of pinky grey on his beak through here. Thin that line down. Little, like that. Same on this one. Sit back and have a look. That's looking okay. I think that's looking okay. I can blend. I've got to do some more bouquet in the background, I think. A little bit more bouquet in the background. So I'll go back into my greens. Back into my dark greens, back into my soft brush. Whoops, that's not it. Make it bigger. I'll blend it. Just got to get some more greens against the tree here. A few more up here. Whoops. Up here. Just to create some branches and blend that, just soften it. Just soften it all a little. Whoops. Keep hitting the buttons on my pen. It's annoying. All right. That gives me some leaves, some more leaves. I want to add some lighter green, yellowy greens. The Australian bush has yellowy greens, golden greens. Well, green and gold. It's our flag is green and gold. I might even add some like little branches. I'll soften them just so that they look like they're there, but they're just a suggestion. Not making a statement, just making a suggestion. I might blend that a bit more. Really soften that out. Like that. All right. A couple more greens. You can see them, they go almost to the other side on the. Make it bigger. There we go. Just blobs of green in colour. Sort of connect it in a little. That is sort of just a bokeh effect, I'm going to go a light pink. Oops. No, that's not pink. That's pink. That's better. I want to strengthen it a little bit. Like that. Give them a bit more definition. Right, sit back and have a look. I'm kind of sort of almost happy with it. Almost happy. Going to ruffle up their feathers a little bit, give them some more fluff plumage. Like that. All right. I reckon we're getting pretty close to being done. What do you guys reckon? I reckon we're pretty close. We go back to that Reiki looking brush. Oh, that's not it. Jesus, that's huge. Don't need it to be like that. Hang on. Oh, maybe I'll just do it by hand. Where's my grey gone? That one. Now I'm going to go back to that ink sooner. No, not ink sooner. What's it called? Noctualis. I'm going to go to, it's got nice textures. Might go to that one. Just to add a little bit of texture to the feathers. Like that. Just a little. Keep them a little bit interesting. Go back to that brown. Right, but more of a brown. That's it. Down here. Like that. More of a chocolate brown. Right, then down here, it's dark. It's darker under here. Like that. Draw some of these feather details in a little bit more. reckon just about done like a dinner. Draw these feather details in a little bit, and I'm going to sign that, I reckon. I'm going to sign that and call it done. And let's go favourites, get my dip pen, go to down here and just go down here. Sign it down the bottom left. And I'm going to call that done. So thank you everyone for being here and hanging out. It was awesome fun. I thoroughly enjoy hanging out with you guys and drawing and chatting. Always end up with fun conversations. And you can see, even when I'm finished drawing, I'm still drawing. So thank you so much for hanging out. I will be back possibly tomorrow with a kookaburra maybe. We'll try and draw a kookaburra, I think. The other day I saw a theatre performance called The Woodpecker and the Metal Pole. Oh no. Tell me more. I can feel the punchline. The performance was impeccable. Oh no. Why am I not surprised? Yeah, go deep. Oh, consistent. You're consistent, mate. Anyway, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the last joke, Deep. And I will see all you guys.